Hello students, welcome back to chemistry class. In the previous class, we have discussed salts, types of salts and two important salts, that is chloralkali process and the preparation of sodium hydroxide, etc. In today's class, we will continue with the remaining salts, that is manufacture of baking soda and washing soda. Okay, so that process of preparation of baking soda and washing soda is known as Solvay process. Okay, so by using Solvay process, you can synthesize baking soda and washing soda. Okay, first let's study the preparation of baking soda. Baking soda is nothing but sodium bicarbonate or sodium hydrogen carbonate. The chemical formula is NaHCO3. Baking soda is also known as sodium bicarbonate or sodium hydrogen carbonate. So what are the materials which are required for the preparation of baking soda? Okay, we need to have the same brine solution. What is brine solution? The aqueous solution of sodium chloride. Along with brine solution, you need to have ammonia gas and carbon dioxide gas. Now let's study the procedure of preparation of baking soda. To the brine solution means aqueous sodium chloride. You have to bubble ammonia. When you bubble ammonia gas to the brine solution, you will get ammoniated brine. Ammoniated means the mixture of ammonia and brine solution. That is called ammoniated brine solution. Okay, to the there will be water also, since it is aqueous. Okay, to this ammoniated brine solution, you have to pass carbon dioxide gas. When you pass carbon dioxide, you can see that you will get sodium bicarbonate, baking soda. Along with this, you will get another salt, that is ammonium chloride. This is our baking soda. Okay, when you pass carbon dioxide gas to the ammoniated brine solution, you can see that a white colored salt is obtained which will not be dissolved in water. Okay, the baking soda is sparingly soluble. Only little amount of baking soda can soluble in water, since it remains in the salt as such, so that you can filter it and you can separate the baking soda. So this is the preparation of baking soda. Okay, and using this baking soda, you can prepare washing powder or sodium carbonate. Sodium carbonate is nothing but, now let's prepare sodium carbonate. Sodium carbonate, the chemical formula Na2CO3. If you want to prepare sodium carbonate, you need to have this baking soda. How will you prepare sodium carbonate from baking soda? Take baking soda. After that, you heat strongly. When you heat strongly, you will get sodium carbonate plus carbon dioxide gas plus water. So using baking soda, we can prepare the sodium carbonate, or the sodium carbonate is also called washing powder. This is mainly we are using in detergent. Okay, washing powder is used in detergent. And next question, how will you prepare washing soda? In order to prepare washing soda, yes, just take sodium carbonate, take washing powder and do the recrystallization. What is meant by recrystallization? Add water molecules. Here we need to add 10 molecules of water to the washing powder. That time you will get washing soda. Washing soda is nothing but Na2CO3 dot 10H2O. This 10 is the water of crystallization. because 10 molecules of water is attached to a one single formula unit of a sodium carbonate. So I will tell you the definition of water of crystallization. Water of crystallization is the number of water molecules, which is attached to a one single unit of a compound. Suppose if you take copper sulfate, copper sulfate is blue in color because 5 molecules of water is attached. The water of crystallization has 5. So that the color of copper sulfate is blue since water molecule is present. Okay? I hope you understand the preparation of washing soda and the baking soda. Now let's study the uses of washing soda and baking soda. The uses of baking soda. First use, it is used in the preparation of carbon dioxide gas. We have already learned the preparation of washing powder. So when you prepare washing powder, you need to heat the baking soda. When you heat baking soda along with washing powder, you will get carbon dioxide gas. Okay. And the second use, it is very, very important. It is used in the preparation of baking powder. So what is the difference between baking powder and baking soda? If you want to prepare baking powder, baking soda is required. So baking powder is nothing but, baking powder is a mixture of baking soda and a mild edible acid such as tartaric acid or citric acid. So baking powder is obtained by the reaction between baking soda and the edible gas such as tartaric acid. When you mix this baking soda with tartaric acid, that time you can see that a carbon dioxide gas is obtained. A carbon dioxide gas will be the reason for the crispiness of the bakery items. So if you want to prepare cake or any baking product, you will add baking powder. Okay, when you add baking powder, so during heating, what happens? It produces carbon dioxide gas. This carbon dioxide gas may be the reason for the crispiness of the bakery items like cake, puffs, etc. Okay, and it is a good antacid. You know that since it is basic in nature, this is a very good antacid for the acidity and all. Okay, and finally it is used in soda acid fire extinguisher. What is the role of soda acid fire extinguisher? Soda acid means along with baking soda, if you add any acid, it will produce carbon dioxide gas. You have learned in the same reaction, right? If you take sodium bicarbonate or baking soda and add dilute hydrochloric acid, you will get what? You will get, yes, salt plus water plus carbon dioxide gas. The same reaction is going on in the soda acid fire extinguisher. If you want to prepare more and more amount of carbon dioxide gas, do this reaction and you will get carbon dioxide gas. This carbon dioxide gas is since denser than the air medium, so which can easily extinguish the fire. Okay, and this is all about the uses of baking soda. The uses of sodium carbonate. The first use, it is used as a cleansing agent. In detergent and all, it is used as one of the component. So it is a good cleansing agent. And the second use, it is used to remove permanent hardness of water. What is the term permanent hardness? The water becomes hard when it contains the salts like calcium and magnesium. If calcium and magnesium salts are present in water, the water will be hard. Okay, the water which is obtained from borewell, okay, etc. There will be in some particular area the water, these ions may be present, these salts may be present. So that time the water will be hard. So when you try to use soap and all, it never produces lather. So in order to remove the permanent hardness, you can use sodium carbonate. It is having more cleansing capacity than soap. Okay, that will help to remove the permanent hardness of water and the water become soft water. The hard water can turns to soft water if you add the washing powder, that means sodium carbonate. Okay, the next use, it is used in the manufacture of soap. Okay, this salt is also used for the preparation of soap. Soap is the sodium salt of carboxylic acid. Okay, the salt can be also used as one of the ingredient for the preparation of soap. Next, it is used in the manufacture of glass, paper and textile industry. Okay, there also the sodium carbonate is one of the ingredient, and it is used in laundry for cleaning cloth. Okay, but if you want to clean cloths for the domestic purpose, okay, this washing powder is used as one of the ingredient. And finally, it is used as a laboratory agent. It is a salt. Okay, it is a good salt to analyze the salt, and for doing some experiments and all, it will have a wide role in the laboratory purpose. Okay, this is only about the uses of sodium carbonate. I hope you understand what is water of crystallization. Now let's move on to the plaster of Paris. The plaster of Paris is the last topic of this chapter. So in order to prepare plaster of Paris, first let's study the chemical name of plaster of Paris. It is calcium sulfate hemihydrate. Hemihydrate means half water of crystallization is added to calcium sulfate. That is why it is called calcium sulfate hemihydrate. Hemi means half. Okay. Let's see the preparation of plaster of Paris. In order to prepare plaster of Paris, we need to have gypsum. Gypsum is nothing but calcium sulfate with 2 water of crystallization. This is gypsum. Gypsum. When you heat gypsum at 100 degrees Celsius, 100 degrees Celsius means It is 373 Kelvin. When you heat gypsum at 100 degrees Celsius, you will get calcium sulfate dot hemihydrate. So, when you heat at 100 degrees Celsius, what happens? 1.5 water molecules will be removed and only half of the water molecules will be attached to the calcium sulfate and 3/2 water molecules are removed. This is the plaster of Paris, POP. Okay? So just heat the gypsum at 100 degrees Celsius or 373 Kelvin. This temperature is very, very important. When you write the equation, without writing this temperature, you won't get mark. So you have to specify the temperature. Okay, this temperature plays a major role. If you heat more than 100 degree or less than 100 degrees Celsius means you won't get plaster of Paris. If you want to get plaster of Paris, definitely you should follow this temperature. Okay, then only you will get plaster of Paris. Okay, this plaster of Paris is mainly, you can see, used in the hospital purpose, mainly because to, bones and all. If it dislocated, doctors are just plastered it by using plaster of Paris. You might be seeing that. Now, an important point. Why plaster of Paris is keeping, avoid from Okay. Now, what happens if plaster of Paris? What happens if plaster of Paris again reacts with water? So, if you heat plaster of Paris in a water medium, what happens? Again, this reaction will be reversible. Okay. It will convert back to gypsum. It will convert back to gypsum. Okay. So when plaster of Paris reacts with water, you will get the gypsum back. Okay, when you heat gypsum at 100 degrees Celsius, you will get plaster of Paris. So that when you store plaster of Paris, you should be careful that you are not supposed to keep near the water, because the plaster of Paris can convert back to gypsum and it becomes a solid mass. Okay, so this is about plaster of Paris. Now let's see the uses of plaster of Paris.